We usually treat the city pigeon as a background character in our urban lives, a gray, repetitive creature governed by basic instincts and a search for sidewalk crumbs. But the visual reality of a pigeon is significantly broader than our own. Their eyes process 4 distinct color dimensions, allowing them to see deep into the ultraviolet spectrum. To them, the world is saturated with data we simply cannot perceive. This sensitivity comes from a protein in their retinas called cryptochrome 4. When blue light enters the eye, it triggers a shift in the protein's electrons, creating what physicists call radical pairs, tiny entangled particles that are sensitive to the Earth's magnetic pull. This chemical reaction effectively overlays a navigational grid onto the bird's vision. By moving its head, the bird can see the intensity and direction of magnetic field lines, creating a literal heads-up display that guides it across continents. The pigeon operates as a biological robot, its every movement calibrated by these invisible physical frequencies. This isn't just a quirk of avian biology. Human eyes carry a nearly identical version of this hardware, the cryptochrome 2 protein. We possess the same primary sensors, yet we don't see glowing field lines in the sky or use magnetic north to find our way home. This raises a question of evolutionary efficiency. If we are carrying the same underlying biological antenna as a migrating bird, what is our body actually tuning into? Evolution rarely wastes a high-performance tool. Instead of abandoning this quantum hardware, our biology turned the antenna 180 degrees. The bird uses its sensor to navigate the physical space of the planet. Humans use that same sensor to navigate the social space between one another. This happens through our mirror neurons. Rather than acting as simple on-off switches, these neurons serve as highly sensitive receivers for the electromagnetic states and biophoton emissions of the people around us. This resonance is what we define as empathy. It is the moment our internal sensors lock onto the frequency of another person, creating a state of zero resistance, a social version of a bird finding its magnetic heading. Our visual cortex filters this data out, because seeing the literal glow of everyone's emotional state would be a cognitive overload. The brain translates this heavy electromagnetic stream into the language of intuition. We experience this data not as a sight, but as a vibe or sudden gut feeling. When we talk about an aura or instant attraction, we are describing our internal quantum compass successfully reading the biological code of someone else. There is a cost to being this highly tuned. If we react purely to these invisible signals without a filter, we lose our individual agency. In a flock, the collective energy potential is so high it overrides the individual bird. They move deterministically, forced by the swarm's momentum. We see this in mass panics. When fear spikes, our rational mind disengages, and we drop into a survival mode. At this density, a crowd behaves as a mindless fluid, pulled along by the pressure of the swarm. Without a conscious interruption, we become remote-controlled particles, trapped in whatever current the crowd is following. The exit from this trap is self-recognition. Only a few species recognize their own reflection, proving they possess a mental model of themselves. That self-awareness creates a bottleneck. It breaks the loop of stimulus and response, creating what we experience as the pause. In this pause, we enter a psychological state of superposition. We feel the magnetic pull of the crowd's anger or fear, but because we haven't reacted yet, every possible response still exists simultaneously. Instead of collapsing into the swarm's instinct, we push that energy toward our conscience, choosing to stay in our own center even when the field around us is chaotic. This is the definition of free will, the ability to feel the invisible pull of the world, hold it in that moment of superposition, and consciously choose our own direction.